All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, NIA community. We are so happy that you're here with us today. One more week. We're counting down to the end of this school year, so we are very excited that you are here on with us today as we're preparing for the summer and our students are leaving for their summer break. We want to really discuss a very important topic with all parents so we can prevent that summer slide and give you some tips and strategies to prevent that summer slide so we don't lose a lot of what the students have learned this year so they can come back, be prepared for the start of the next school year. So with that, I would like to introduce Mrs. Benna. She is going to go through the presentation with you. Please feel free to type in the chat if you have any questions, and we will be more than happy to answer any questions you have. So, Mrs. Benna.
Good morning, NIA families. Happy Friday to you all. I'm really happy to be here and presenting and sharing this very important slideshow. And like Dr. Faki said, if anyone has any questions or comments, please feel free to share with us, and I'll do my best to help out in that. My name is Samah Bana. I've been teaching at NOR for 10 years now. I've taught 5th and 6th grade. I'm also an instructional coach. And today we're going to talk about the topic of preventing the summer slide. And like Dr. Faki said, the things that you guys can support at home with your children and keeping that progress going with their academic achievement. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So what is the summer slide? It's kind of the visual that you see on the screen right there is very helpful. You know, the students work hard all year long. This year, NIA, we've had tremendous success in all subjects. And so they achieve that high achievement status, you know, going through school all year and all the practice they get. And then summer comes around and they're not getting that exposure, of course, as they would if they were going on with their school day. So then their progress, they start to lose it as the summer moves forward. So the summer slide basically just means that there's regression in academic skills. You know, your student or your child is losing a lot of the progress they've made with math and reading and all subject areas. It describes how after months away from the structured learning that your student is going to forget or lose the skill that they got throughout the year. So what does research show us? The National Summer Slide Study that was just released showed a 52% summer learning loss for students grade 1 through 6. 39% of total school year academic gains lost over each summer break. So all that progress they've made kind of, it's for us teachers, it's in the fall, we just see a reset. You know, we look at the data from the previous year, from the previous teacher, and then we notice that when they're testing in the beginning of the year for their fall NWEA, they've dropped in points because they just haven't practiced over the summer. The average student loses 25 to 34% of the school year math progress, and in reading, they lose 17 to 28%. A lot of times in elementary school, we focus a lot on reading, and it's so important, but we kind of forget about the math. And as you guys can see in the results here in the data, math is also significantly affected by the summer slide. So that's something we need to keep in mind to keep our kids going strong with their academics. So how do we prevent this? You know, no kid, I have kids of my own and I know students, no kid wants to do schoolwork in the summer. After all, it's summer, they want to have some fun. But I'm going to just share some tips that don't make it feel like schoolwork for the kids, but also will help them maintain some of the progress they've made. So I'm just going to go over some tips here. One of the tips is to maintain structure. Kids thrive on structure, and it supports your child's emotional well-being and learning. So I know students, especially the older ones, you know, they like to stay up late and sleep in the summer, but you've got to find a way to find structure because it number one, it's good for them developmentally, but also it helps you kind of plan for a little bit of learning throughout the day. Some examples of structure: a morning walk. Although a morning walk, you might be thinking, doesn't sound very educational, but a morning walk where your kid is practicing how to have a conversation, how to listen, how to speak, how to make observations. It could be a nature walk. It could be things they find on the sidewalk. It could be, hey, we're taking a walk. Like, what did you see anything you're curious about during this walk? Let's go home and research it. Let's find out more information about this. So just keeping kind of educational type conversations to get them to think more and make more observations is very beneficial. So like a morning walk, bedtime reading, which we all know is, if you have younger kids, read to them, picture books, ask questions as you read to them. Older kids, just set up a routine. Hey, before bedtime, I want you to go ahead and read towards your reading goal, chapter books. Routine library visits. Your local library is actually an amazing resource, and they offer so much for parents and families. The membership to the library is free if you're a resident. They have reading programs and reading challenges. They have hands-on activities. So definitely check out your local library and make it part of your weekly routine. For math, a fun family math game night, once a week, twice a week, to just keep them sharp on their math skills. Daily journaling is really nice, and it doesn't feel like schoolwork. Kids really enjoy writing their thoughts down. It could be part of the routine. At the end of the night, write part of your journal, reflect, so you can look back on your summer and revisit it later on. Another tip I have is to turn your everyday tasks into learning opportunities. We're busy as parents and we have a lot going on. Just the simple conversations we've talked about, and then it helps because it makes learning relevant. I'm learning this because this is important in the real world. Something as simple, I have some examples up here, counting money. That's going to help counting. You can alter it based on your child's age, right? So if you have a younger child, that's just simply counting money or recognizing coins. The older students, you can have them make change. Okay, if I pay this much for this item, how much change should I expect back, right? Creating a shopping list, that's really fun for kids. So they get to kind of make the list for you, go to the grocery store, maybe compare prices. That's one way to throw in math, right? Which item would be cheaper? What's the unit price for this versus this? If you have older kids, if you have younger kids, what's more expensive, this item or this item? Making a shopping list, even budgets, helping with budgeting, or maybe create a budget, like a fun budget for the week, or just grocery shopping budget and staying under the budget. This is a great practice for the older kids, and it's very relevant in the real world. We talked about looking up fun facts. Think of something that you saw today that you're curious about. Let's look into it and research it. Tracking the weather and charting it. Backyard nature journal. If you have a kid who really enjoys art, maybe drawing a picture or a visual of something they just saw and then writing an entry about it. Or making observations. Maybe you have a plant or a flower growing in your yard, and you want your child to kind of track the growth and draw pictures and chart it. Writing a recipe, creating a recipe or following a recipe. That's going to involve math and reading. They're learning how to read measurements. They're learning how to follow sequence and order of steps. Summarizing a movie or writing a review. We're going to the movies. Can you write a review about it? Would you recommend this movie to your friend? What did you like? What did you not like? That could be a practice for writing, or even like speaking and presenting. Cooking and baking, that's always fun with the kids. Gardening, they get to be outside in nature and, doing some active learning type activities. Another tip I have is reading daily. And I know this is a very, this is recommended all the time, and all of us parents know that we need our kids reading every day, especially for our elementary kids. Early reading is critical. It's very important that they keep up with their reading skills. It's good for their long-term brain development and academic process. It does not need to be excessive. It is summer break. They want to have fun. It doesn't have to feel like a chore or a lot of work. So you have to be realistic about setting your expectations, but just also being consistent. So anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes a day, best case scenario daily, a few days here and there might not work out with a busy schedule. When you do read with your child, or if you have your older kid reading, it's really important and really helpful to keep the 4 domains of language in mind. So they are the reading part, the writing, the listening, and the speaking. So other than reading, can they write about it? Can they write a summary or a sentence about what they just read? Can they explain or use their verbal language to talk about the book? Can they hear questions and answer about the book? So the more of these domains are incorporated, the better the comprehension and the fluency in the language skills for your child. These are some examples of just how to motivate your kid to want to read. You can make it fun, reading outdoors, setting up a picnic or a lawn chair, just sit outside and enjoy the weather and read. Flashlight reading, kids really love to read, kind of in a fort type setup with a flashlight. Library visits, like we discussed, setting up kind of an award. It doesn't have to be something that you buy them, but just a fun activity. Maybe they really enjoy going to the park or playing a few minutes extra outside. Set up a reward that's going to motivate them, and ask them, your child is an individual. We all like different things. Have them be part of the process of, okay, this is the reward that would work best for me. Yeah, so we covered that. Setting age-appropriate goals and fun reward systems for reading. I was trying to kind of think of a more specific goal per your child's age or grade level. So for kindergarten, for literacy, a realistic goal would be 10 to 15 minutes daily. They can do reading, and they can maybe alternate. Like one day they're reading, the next day they're writing. Maybe the day number 1 you're reading to them, and maybe they write a sentence about it. And you can switch that off. For math, just practicing counting numbers. The Dollar Tree has a lot of like flashcards, or you can make just your own flashcards at home, recognizing numbers as they're out at a grocery store or out in public. In the car, maybe practicing counting. So just make it just part of your daily interaction. For grades 1 to 3, your lower L grades, an example goal would be to read 15 books by the end of the summer, or spend 15 minutes a day reading or writing, and just have it part of your routine. Maybe after lunch every day, it's quiet time, read a book, or maybe at bedtime. Can you please? Yeah, thank you. For math, for grades 1 to 3, you can complete 1 round of math facts flashcards daily. So if you have the flashcards, make it a goal to, okay, you're going to go through these flashcards once a day, just to make sure their fluency is there. You can make it a challenge. You can have them set a timer, and on day 1, how long did it take you to go through your addition facts? Okay, let's see by day 5 how fast you've gotten. Kids really love to see results like that. It really does motivate them. Also, they can do things like skip counting, addition, subtraction. If your kid's already doing multiplication facts, division facts, these are so important and so helpful, and it will really set them up for success for the next school year. For grades 4 through 6, now we're talking more about chapter books. Now, chapter books come in different levels based on where your child's at. There are more easy reads. They can go more difficult. Just it depends on what they can, where they're at and what their level is. But a realistic goal would be read 4 to 6 chapter books by the end of the summer, or spend 20 to 30 minutes a day reading, writing, you can alternate. I think reading seems to be like a pretty easy goal, but writing could be so helpful. If they can kind of alternate between the two, it would be great. And then for math, we do have iExcel, and there are so many options of free resources online. But for math, you want to do something like completing double-digit operations. Can they multiply a 2-digit by 2-digit number? Or can they practice long division? See how they do with that. And then again, if you're doing fluency, multiplication facts, you can time it. I know that's really important in 3rd, 4th, 5th for them to be fluent and quick with their facts. Some of the available resources that we have listed here is iExcel. I know our parents are really great about making sure students are using iExcel. That could be a kind of an easy, quick option to go to. We have RazKids, local library, like I said, is really great. There are so many free learning websites that if you just do an easy Google search, you'll find so many options for all age range. Museums, some of the Michigan museums in the area do offer free summer programs. I know the DIA and the Michigan Science Center, they do offer days where they might give you free admission or free activity. So definitely look into that. I hope that this was really helpful, and I hope that you took some ideas with you to what you want to do during the summer with your child. I don't think I have any questions up here, but I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of our school community and helping our kids grow and have a great summer. And we're hoping for more growth in the upcoming school year. See you guys there.
HES Academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM-certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions, and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Noor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org, Universal Academy in Detroit at universalpsa.org, and Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ulapsa.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.